How's everybody doing on this beautiful day, man? This is a real video we about to get into, man. I want to talk about something that not many people are talking about. First, let me fix this a little bit. All right, I think that's a little better. Apologize for the shaking. The tripod's a little shaky. Should be good now. But yeah, I want to talk about something not many men are talking about. A lot of men are talking about marriage and whatnot, and why marriage is not beneficial for the man, which I totally agree. I myself I'm against traditional marriage. I'm for marriage, but I am against traditional marriage, meaning signing a contract. Because at the end of the day, if your wife for some reason wants to divorce and wants to start over, it is you against her and the government. You're not going to win against the government. The government has the best Jewish lawyers, the top lawyers. You're not going to win. So, with that being said, I want to talk about men remarrying, and a man should never, ever, ever remarry. One time is enough. After that, it's time for you to hang up your jersey, put it above the Raptors, and just focus on yourself. Have fun here and there, but you should never, ever, ever get traditionally married again as a man after if it doesn't go right the first time. Eventually, we're going to talk about the bum dudes that get married, but first I want to focus on the dudes that have shit going for themselves. Um, Men that have 401ks, have a great career, that are considered, good catches, that are considered breadwinners. As a man, if you're in that situation, if you went through life grinding, you grind it out, you got it out the mud, or you spent time working on your craft, working on investments, and getting yourself to a certain level, and then you put yourself in that vulnerable position, because asking a woman for her hand in marriage is an extremely vulnerable position as a man. One of the most vulnerable situations you could put yourself in besides having children, I believe, because you get down on one knee. Even if you don't get down on one knee, even if you're not that traditional, even if you do it like Gucci Mane, how Gucci Mane did it at the NBA game, if you just hand her the ring like, here, even if you do it like that, you are still hoping that she says yes. What if Gucci Mane's wife said no? What if she embarrassed him in front of everybody? What if your wife had said no when you ask her? No matter how long y'all been together, no matter how good you thought things were, you thought it was time to take it to the next level. You are putting yourself in the most vulnerable situation, most vulnerable position you could be. You hoping and praying she says yes. If she says no, that's going to crush you. Why would you want to put yourself in that situation again? Why? On top of the fact you just previously battled it out in court with your wife and the government, fighting a battle that you can't even consider the battle because it's a one-sided battle. You're not going to win. No man has really ever won in divorce court against his wife and the government, because once that contract is signed, that's who she has on her side. And you might as well just give in. You might as well just give in, man. Don't waste your time calling out of work, inconveniencing your life to keep going to court because it keeps getting continued. Why waste your time with that, man? At the end of the day, just give in to what she wants. And then when you give in to what she wants, you're even more vulnerable. So just look at that. Just look at how many the two vulnerable situations you put yourself in. Asking her for her hand in marriage and giving her half of everything that you worked hard for before she said yes. I just don't get it. There are plenty of examples that men could go by on reasons why they shouldn't remarry. Why they shouldn't marry in the first place, but we're talking about remarry. Why you shouldn't remarry. I have seen dudes literally come on the internet and cry, man. Literally tears in their eyes because they had to give up everything and they had to start over and get an apartment and give up some of the material things that they work hard for and start from scratch. And they're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And there's dudes that see that stuff, but they still go ahead and they get married, get a divorce, and then do it again. And then you have to realize, as a man who has stuff, a woman is looking at you as a lick, man. If you were asking a woman to marry you again and she knows that you've previously been married, she look at you as a lick, as a sucker. And that's just the truth of the matter. That really is the truth of the matter. You look like a sucker. You look like a lick. She feels like, yeah, I'm going to marry this dude, but I could play with this dude. I could play around him. I could do what I want to do when I want to do it. He was already previously married, and he's doing it again. He's an idiot. He's stupid. She must have walked all over him. And I'm going to do it too. And the reason why women think like that is because as they get to know you, they realize you're a good person. They realize you don't really have many flaws. You're not a cheater. You're a provider. So then they put two and two together. They say, wow, why would this woman give up such a good catch? Oh, because he's too nice. He's too much of a nice guy. He's too controlling. So you got to realize, man, you as a man, you like, man, I got my stuff together. Yes, I was previously married. I got a divorce, but I'm putting myself back out here, and I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to do it even better this time. This is what is going through your head. The things that are going through your head as a man is getting remarried. You're like, I know what not to do. I know what to do, what I didn't do in my previous marriage. It doesn't work like that, though. It doesn't work that way. Most women are wired the same mentally, but their actions are different. Let me say that again. Most women are wired the same mentally, but their actions play out totally different. Totally different. So while you out here thinking that you 2 steps ahead, that you're coming into this new marriage experience and you learn some things, she's looking at you as a sucker, as a lick, as a pushover. She's looking at you like as, hey, if it doesn't work out, I could put myself back out there, and now I have a home, I have money, I have this, I have, you know what I'm saying? Most of these women you guys are getting married to for the second time, they don't have much. They don't have much of nothing. And that's my problem too. A lot of these dudes with money, with 6 figures, that grind out the mud, that got their stuff together, you keep marrying low lives. The first woman you married was a low life. Why are you marrying another low life? And when I say low life, I don't mean she doesn't work. I mean she doesn't have a 6-figure career. You have to marry a woman with a 6-figure career. A lot of you dudes made the mistake of marrying a woman that worked at Wendy's, that worked at McDonald's, that was a waitress at a diner. And now you're going to go marry a woman that works for the fucking phone company, that works as a fucking nail tech, that works as a fucking barista at a coffee shop. What are you doing? What are you doing? That is the dumbest thing you could do as a man going to remarry, is to marry a woman that doesn't have 6 figures, that doesn't have investments, money in her bank account, that doesn't have her own home. A lot of you dudes are remarrying and you want to buy a home together with a woman. You don't want to get with a woman that has a nice home, that has a nice car, that has her career finished, that doesn't say, oh, you know, I know we're getting married, but I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to extend my career. This is what a lot of breadwinners think. A lot of breadwinners think, oh, I make the money, I make the bread, so I have majority of the control over the relationship. She's not going anywhere. She doesn't make much. That's what you dudes think. But you're stupid. A lot of women are thieves in the night. Now off that, let's talk about the bums, man. And I have experience with this. I want to talk about my mom's ex-husband. I had a stepfather when I was younger. And you have dudes like this, man. You have a lot of dudes that are afraid to be alone. You have a lot of dudes that marriage hop, that relationship hop. And this dude walked into a relationship with mom with nothing. He was living in an apartment, a dirty apartment. This dude had a dog. It was like a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment in the hood. And this dude had a dog that he kept in one area of the house that just shit all over for. He didn't pick it up. You know what I'm saying? Me being young is one sign to my mom. I was like, Mom, this dude's dirty. Like, don't marry this dude. Don't get with this dude. You know, of course, it didn't work out. She didn't listen. You know what I'm saying? I also noticed that he was on the phone a lot. This was my first time meeting him. She brought me over to his house. He was on the phone a lot. Couldn't find out he was on the phone with his mom. He was a mama's boy. You know what I'm saying? My mom was just like any other typical black women, ignoring the signs, man. Just wanting to be in a relationship. Wanting to find a father figure for me. Ignoring the signs. But how being so young? I had to be like 12, 13 years old. Maybe a year or 2 younger. Me being so young, I knew the signs. I said, no, Mom, don't marry this dude. This dude's dirty. I'm jumping up and down on his bed. This is my first time meeting this dude in his apartment. I'm jumping up and down on his bed with my shoes on. I'm like, Mom, he's on the phone with somebody. Don't marry this dude. I saw the signs. He was a bum dude. He had nothing. My mom had her own home. My mom took me out the hood, took me out the streets of New Haven, and bought a house in Hamden, in the suburbs. This dude had nothing. Yes, I'm extremely passionate about this because I want you women to wake up and realize what y'all doing. But if y'all don't, I want you men to realize what some dudes do. Loser type of dude, again, moved in with my mom into our place. And he became a trolling. Once they got married, he became controlling. He was exposed. He exposed himself. He was controlling. He was mentally, physically abusive to her. And he tried to adopt me. He got on my good side. He brought me around his mom. I met his niece who had an amazing body. I said in my previous video. This was my stepfather at the time. He brought me around his sister. His sister obviously had a daughter, which was his niece. She had an amazing body, man. We was dry humping. I was feeling that fat butt, kissing on, sucking on them juicy lips of hers. Light-skinned it. She was light-skinned. Crazy body, man. Crazy. I can't get over it. But yeah, he tried to win me over, get on my good side, man. And he was going to adopt me. For some reason, I can't remember why it didn't work out, but it didn't work out, and I'm glad it didn't. The last words he said when he left, he told my mom, that's why you can't suck dick anyway. And I swung on him. I said, don't talk to my mother like that. He grabbed me, hit me up. He said, what you doing? Dude was like 6 feet tall with a lazy eye, looking like Debo. Looked just like Debo off of Friday. That's what they called him at his job, and that's what a lot of dudes in the hood called him. They called him Debo. But yeah, man, loser, relationship hopping, trying to take advantage. And guess what? I seen a dude 2 years later when I was working. He came to my restaurant. I didn't speak to him, but I told my mom, yeah, I seen him with some lady. My mom's like, yeah, he remarried again. See how these losers do? Losers like him are scared to be alone, and they want to take what another woman has. Yes, there are men like this. There are men who don't have much, who come into relationships, try to sweep women off their feet and marry them, and they don't have nothing. They want to take what the woman has. So yes, there's two sides of this shit. There's the man who has his stuff going together, who has 6 figures, who doesn't learn, who keeps getting taken advantage of, and then there's the dude who keeps marrying women who has nothing for himself and takes advantage of. That's not a real man. I don't care how big and tall, how strong he was. I don't care what his street cred, his hood cred was. He was not a real man. Real men do not do that, man. Real men don't come into a relationship with nothing, move in with a female and marry her, and then just try to take everything. I believe his goal was to adopt me, and then he was going to try to take over the house. My mom was mentally ill. My mom was going through bipolar depression, and she didn't have that problem until she married him. But she didn't listen to me. I told her don't do it. Excuse me. She didn't listen to me. And look what happened. And she never was the same since. We don't even speak anymore. Not because of that, but because of that and other stuff. Her always putting men before me my whole life. But that's not what this video is about. But yeah, man, if you got a homie, if you an older dude, you got a friend that's getting married for the second, third time, man, you got to look for these signs. Especially if you're a bum dude like I just explained. Don't hang around with dudes like that. Avoid being friends with dudes like that, man, that be taking advantage of women in situations. And then another thing, man, you got these dudes who be leaving previous marriages, going into another marriages, and they got kids, man. Now you introducing your kids to this new woman. Now you confusing the shit out of your kids. Why you don't love mommy no more? Oh, you left mommy, but now you falling for this new chick. Now you're conjoining families. What if she has kids from her previous relationship? Then you got your kids from your last marriage and her kids from this new marriage. Now they beefing with each other. Now you got to worry about trying to make them get along. Now you got to worry about favoritism. Now you got to worry about making sure you give her kids the same attention, same affection, so they don't feel like they're unloved, like they're lacking, and they don't get depressed and develop, adolescent mental issues and stuff like that. It is a lot when it comes to getting remarried. You dudes, a lot of you dudes are bringing baggage, man. You're bringing baggage from your previous relationship to the next. Like I said, even if you get remarried, you married a woman that has no kids. If you have kids, you're bringing baggage to her. See, a lot of women, they look at a good situation like, oh yeah, this dude's about to marry me. He has a lot going, you know what I'm saying? He could da-da-da-da. And they say yes, but then they realize, just like any other human being, they accept things, but then when they actually get into that situation, they realize they bit off more than they could chew. They're in over their shoulders, man. They're in far over their shoulders, in deep over their head. You know, a lot of women will say, I'll accept a man that has kids if he meets all these requirements, but then they realize they don't like the kids. The kids are disrespectful, or the kids don't like them as much, or the kids don't like their cooking. Whatever it is, man. It is a lot when it comes to being remarried. That's why as a man, you should never remarry as a man. That's what this video is about. As a man, you should never remarry. Again, man, you hang your jersey up, man. You hang your jersey up in the Raptors, you retire it. Just like the NBA, man. You retire it. For all you dudes that love basketball and shit. And you have fun. You enjoy life. You travel. Even if you travel alone. Travel with your kids. If you have kids from that previous marriage that you do joint custody or have full custody. Whatever your situation is. And if you have no kids, even better. And I'm not saying you can't remarry. I'm just saying you don't remarry the traditional way. But no man in today's time is going out of his way to write up a separate contract opposite of what the government presents for marriage. And having a woman sign this and agree to this. And before I go, let me talk about prenups, because there's going to be dudes that say, oh, what if I have her sign a prenup? Listen, there are ways around that. If a woman can prove that you were cheating, or prove that you withheld money which caused her financial hardship or depression, she could say, oh, I wasn't getting the necessities as a woman. You know what I'm saying? When I was in this marriage and he knew I worked less because he said he would provide and this and that. If she can prove that in court, and remember, she has the best lawyers on her side. If she can prove that in court, that prenup may get thrown out the window if the judge is on her side. And more than likely, the judge will be. So get that through your head. If you didn't get anything throughout this video, you want to say, man, I just have a bitch sign a prenup, man. She ain't taking none of my shit. Just know there are ways around that sometimes, man. There really are. All right? So, fellas, man, I want to hear some comments, man. If you have any experiences with some friends or maybe a stepfather like me, comment down below. I'm curious to hear. I love reading your comments. Like the video, please, because I would greatly appreciate that, and it helps this channel go a long way. Your boy's finally monetized. So if you see ads in the videos, it's because I'm monetized, man, and that's because of y'all. I wouldn't be able to get here without y'all. It was not a short journey. It was a long journey, but I did take a hiatus off, and I was inconsistent. As you can see, now I'm consistent, man. I'm trying to drop videos every day for you fellas and give you guys game if I can, you know? And one thing I want to say is the reason why you should take advice from me. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's only with a grain of salt, I would appreciate it because, man, I'm a dude that's experienced. A lot of dudes that are giving you game, like, for one example, no disrespect to him, Anton Daniels. A lot of these dudes like him, like, he puts up good content, but a lot of these dudes don't have experience with women. I have experience with women. I lived in 3 different states. And there are some dudes that lived in more. But a lot of these dudes that are giving you red pill content or dating advice, they haven't experienced many women. They haven't experienced women of different ages and different cultural backgrounds, and I have. All right? So with that being said, I'm going to end this video. I appreciate you all. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And when you subscribe, make sure your notifications are set to all. Because if not, YouTube may not let you know of a video. They may let you know later on. All right? Peace and love.